How's it going, guys? I'm Matt Torx, and since I was a kid, I've always loved the Borderlands series. I mean, you don't have to look far for that fact to be proven on my channel. The particular formula of a comedic and dark looter shooter just struck something in 9-year-old me that made me want to replay through these games over and over, just collecting as much loot as possible to boost my character's power and skills as I take on hordes of harder and harder enemies. But for the past year or so, I had kind of taken a break on the series after burning myself out on Borderlands 3 since I had just reached a standstill with nothing more to do in the game. But after seeing the trailer for the upcoming movie, I started feeling that nostalgic itch, and ended up picking up the Handsome Jack collection for $10, and I haven't stopped playing it since. So today, I'm returning to the roots of this channel as I explain Borderlands 2 in 2024. Now, for those unaware, Borderlands 2 has 6 playable characters called Vault Hunters. These are mercenaries who hunt out ancient alien vaults across the desolate planet of Pandora. Now, out of these Vault Hunters, I picked Krieg and maxed out his level in just a couple weeks. I chose Krieg because he didn't have the DLCs as a kid and wanted to try someone new. Krieg is a psycho with a split personality disorder that hacks his enemies to death with a buzz axe. But I forgot to record most of that, so this video is instead going to be focused on Salvador, a short, angry man who is arguably the strongest character in Borderlands 2. Besides these two Vault Hunters, there's Maya the Siren, Axton the Commando, Zero the Assassin, and Gage the Necromancer. Each one of them brings their own unique action skills and play styles to the game. Now, replaying through this game, the first thing I noticed was how much better the story is compared to Borderlands 3. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Borderlands 3, but in that game I found myself struggling to complete the story once per character just to get to the end game. But with BL2, I'm already on my 4th playthrough and still don't feel tired of its cinematic and incredible story. I mean, it has it all. Amazing storytelling, memorable characters, one of the best villains in history with Handsome Jack, tons of loot to find along the way, and a rhythmic progression that I just find adds so much replayability to the game. But if you do get tired of the main story, don't worry, because in terms of content, the story only scratches the surface of what there is to do in this game. Borderlands 2 has 5 unique DLC stories, as well as 5 smaller mission-long headhunter packs, in addition to a multiple of replayable slaughter arenas plus a total of 10 raid bosses, and any of this can be done on any or all of the 6 available Vault Hunters, using any combination of skills from their 3 skill trees on each of the 3 game modes: Normal Vault Hunter mode, True Vault Hunter mode, and Ultimate Vault Hunter mode. Now, in a gameplay sense, all of these different things you can do lead to one central idea: loot. It's been the same in every other Borderlands. The true main purpose of Borderlands 2 is collecting the most unique weapons and gear for your characters to make them as strong as possible. Borderlands 2 has a total of 7 different rarities of gear that can drop from enemies, bosses, and chests, those being white, green, blue, purple, legendary, pearlescent, and seraph. There's also E-Tech weapons that shoot special ammo types depending on the weapon. White through purple and E-Tech weapons are easy enough to obtain, dropping from most enemies and chests in the game. But the last 3 are where the true loot farming begins. Legendaries are unique, golden weapons, shields, class mods, and grenade mods that can rarely be found as world drops, or more likely be farmed from their dedicated bosses or named enemies that spawn throughout Pandora. There's a lot of them, and they're a lot easier to get than pearls or seraphs. Pearlescent items are far rarer than legendaries, dropping very rarely from bosses, loot midgets, and chubby or tubby enemies, a rare variant of some standard enemies. Seraph items, on the other hand, introduced in the DLCs, aren't as rare as pearlescents, but can only be obtained through killing the raid bosses found in the DLCs after beating their story, thus making them hard to get unless your build is strong enough to kill most raid bosses. But not to worry, as with this much loot, it's not that hard to find the perfect gear to fit your playstyle. But like any game, it does have its flaws. The game feels a bit dated since it came out in 2012, and compared to Borderlands 3, it does have less items to collect and less content to do in the endgame. But even putting away my nostalgia towards this game, I think it's just objectively an amazing game that you can tell has had so much thought and effort put towards it by not only the developers at Gearbox Studios, but by its fans who still play the game to this day. Borderlands 2 is the game that put the Borderlands series on the map, and because the memories I had of it as a kid caused me to cement it in my top 5 favorite games of all time.
On time. Key's nearly ready.
Anyway, if you made it this far, I just want to thank you for listening to me ramble about BL2 and why this game is so special to me. And of course, if you want me to make any more content covering the game, make sure to let me know, and I'll see you in the next video.